her book.
Wait, say that again. Who? Wait, who?
Wonder Woman is the biggest pop icon that nobody gives a shit about.
I totally agree.
So, like, she's got all these soft fans. There are people that are Wonder Woman fans that would never, ever even, like, lower themselves to read a book. To read a comic book.
Exactly. Now,
and she's the dubbed feminist icon, but at the same time, she's lived in a male-dominated pop culture. She's just like one inconsistency after another. She's like, she's a feminist icon, and then my friend, the feminist, who says, oh yeah, she's a feminist icon. She's a hot chick in a bikini.
Well, she's an Amazon warrior. She's supposed to be an Amazon warrior, so.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm trying to get my thoughts straight after all that now.
But, Mike, here's a question. You're a little bit older than me. When I was growing up collecting comics, no one I knew out of all my friends, or even any girls, collected Wonder Woman. Did you know anyone who ever bought a Wonder Woman comic before the George Perez reboot in the mid to late 80s?
Very, very few.
Oh, but you did know some people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And my girl cousins had them, but I don't, like, they had that big Treasury edition, the ones like the Marvel Treasury edition?
Yeah, yeah.
The oversized one.
Yeah.
But they didn't have, like, a whole bunch of, they didn't have, like, a stack of Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah. Mike, did the people you know have a stack? Or what did they collect Wonder Woman-wise?
They had a small stack, but here's the angle. The people I knew who collected Wonder Woman didn't collect Wonder Woman for the character. They collected them for the artist that was drawing them at the time. And
yeah, wasn't Wonder Woman a big comic in Severian?
Wasn't Wonder Woman a what?
No, don't you mean again, Mike? Don't you mean in your little fancy neighborhood?
Oh, I see you're being funny. Okay.
Yeah, trying to be.
He went to a high school, a Catholic high school that is usually called Severian instead of Severian.
You went to a yeah, and that's why it was more reputed than any other high school in New York. Other than
everybody still calls it Severian. Okay, get back to that.
But like Mike, like you said, wait, Mike, like you said, Patrick was trying. Keyword trying. But go ahead.
The only artists I knew that people gravitated towards that happened to do Wonder Woman on even a semi-regular basis was Ross Andrews.
Yep.
Jose Delbo.
Yeah, I never liked his stuff.
Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
Yep.
Yeah. Ross Andrews to me was a journeyman artist.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't a journeyman. He had solid long runs on Wonder Woman, Spider-Man.
Yeah, no.
Metal Man.
He had a good career, but he wasn't like. How many people would say Ross Andrews is my favorite artist? Like, I can't imagine.
When I was working at DC Comics, Ross Andrews used to come into the bullpen where I worked, and for some strange reason, he always confused me with George Perez. He always came to me and said hi, George. And I kept telling him, I'm not George. I love George, but I'm not him. And after a while, I just gave up. Because each time he came in, he kept calling me George.
Wow.
Ross did a holy ton of shit. Holy crap.
Well, yeah, he's not a journeyman. He had long runs. In fact, he's my favorite Spider-Man artist. Because that's the Spider-Man I grew up on. He drew great Metal Men. He drew...
Yes.
But whatever. But the only time I ever collected Wonder Woman before Perez is when they got rid of the Eagle and put the WW on her, and Gene Colan drew it for a while. But even by like a few issues in,
that was a weird combo.
Yeah, but it worked for some reason. But it is a weird combo. But even still, that was written by Roy Thomas, drawn by Gene Colan. But even after like 3 or 4 issues, I kind of gave up because she's such a boring character. Even her anniversary issue 300, I thought was I remember buying that, and I thought it was like, nothing special. After you had like.
Get it straight, like.
You had the Avengers.
We're talking about like what the sort of the strength of us, the three of us, is. I basically got into comics 10 years after Marvel started, kind of thing. Like,
Right.
he was probably there a little earlier, Gary a little later. So there wasn't a whole lot of Marvel continuity before, and you picked it up, blah, blah, blah. We were there at the beginning of the graphic novel, the beginning of the specialty shop, the beginning of indies, the beginning of VCRs, the
Yeah.
beginning of the 80s action heroes, the beginning of sci-fi as a genre that went wide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you think about, even in the 80s, being a sci-fi geek was looked down upon. But if you look at the biggest movies of the 80s, you had Terminator and all that, one after, that kind of thing. You go Aliens, one after another. It's all sci-fi genre stuff. We were there for the syndication of Star Trek, where it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which led into
Right.
movies. And then it led into the return of Star Trek to TV. We were there for, and we were there for the syndicated genre shows of the '90s. Xena, Hercules, Andromeda. All the billions of them that came out. We were there for the return of. Like, I remember reading an article in the '90s saying Star Trek was the biggest pop culture franchise in the world, bar none.
Yeah.
And then we saw the the mini-series, all that kind of stuff. We saw the event books. We were there for the first event, really, the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Right.
So I think we have a lot that we, if we put the question out right and jag each other's brains, I think we have a lot to say about geek culture, being able to nerd culture.
True. That's
So
very
wait,
true.
so you started collecting superhero comics in 1971?
Probably 74.
See, that's when I started too. That's when Marvel started in '61.
I had read comics before that, but I really didn't get into it. Like, I had to buy Cap every month, like 74.
Yeah,
The Secret
That's-
Empire storyline was in full swing. By the time I got on the book, Falcon already had his wings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's funny because I was saying that on Facebook in the comic book group I'm in. That I read Archie and Harvey when I was like 5, 6, or 7, but when I was 8 years old was the first time in '74 when I picked up Spider-Man 131, and that was the start of me collecting superheroes.
Mm.
And you're right. I just looked it up. Ross Andrews Spidey was a good Spidey. I'm thinking of somebody else. Was he ever on Legion of Superheroes? Who was the
Ross
guy that
Andrews?
did Legion?
No, Dave Cockrum and Mike Grell had long runs on Legion of Superheroes in the 60s,
No, I'm thinking
70s.
more in the 80s, like 80, 88.
Steve Lytle.
Steve,
Steve Lytle did a lot of Legion.
yeah.
And
Maybe. Right around the time where they kicked Superboy out of the book and went from Superboy to Legion of Superheroes.
That's Mike Grell.
Yeah, that's late
No,
70s.
Mike Grell was long gone by then. He was like issue 250.
Oh, I don't know who was drawing it. I think
When Brainiac went nuts.
no, I never really read Legion because I didn't dig the art.
That sounds like Steve Lytle. And
That's
he
more
wasn't
mid '80s Steve Lytle. But do you remember, like in 1980, they put out that 3-issue miniseries, like Secrets of the Legion of Superheroes?
Yeah.
I think that was either Garcia Lopez or Ross Andrew, maybe, or Dave Cockrum, or something like that. But I remember they didn't wow me enough to keep buying the book. But I think that wasn't the regular artist on that miniseries. I thought
Yeah. I think Carl Kiesel was the inker on that series.
that early. I thought Carl Kiesel always came later. But
Yeah.
but back to Wonder Woman. All right, Patrick. So you think
All right, let me get my head straight. Okay, Wonder Woman
About time.
is the biggest icon nobody cares about. That a fan base is really soft. That like it's hardly. Think about one of the questions I'm going to ask you, Gavin, when we get started is like, in all the time you were in your store, how many conversations about Wonder Woman did you have?
well, before the
Like
reboot.
those brown.
Before the
those brown,
reboot, before the reboot, the New 52 reboot, none. There was maybe 1 or 2 customers that collected the old series, and there was one very nice lady and her husband who kept buying all the back issues of Wonder Woman because she loved Wonder Woman. But Before the reboot, nothing. After the New 52, yeah, some people were talking about it because it's Azzarello and Cliff Chang artwork. But
The only time people
Yeah,
talk
nothing.
about when bring this up is when they complain about it. Nobody ever talks about, oh my God, you got to get on this run. It's amazing.
exactly, no. Everybody complained when they gave her the long pants during the Straczynski
That's
run.
something. That's the most. That's the most hype I've ever seen any one-woman run since Perez, and it was about pants.
Yep. Yeah.
That's when she wore that all-white jumpsuit. And they were doing.
No, that's way back, buddy.
That's in
That's
the
in the 60s.
late 60s, yeah. And even then, I think there was some controversy over that.
Oh, there was. I mean, that like they took the most powerful woman in comics and they took her powers away.
Yeah, they made her like Mrs. Peel.
You know what? I
Yes,
remember
that's exactly what they were doing, yeah.
I remember when I read that. Actually, we should start. I'm just trying to get my head straight about what this intro is, and I'm gonna start.
All
Just
right.
give me 1, 2, 3. Give me a 1, 2, 3, and I'll start going.
All right, even though we've started about 12 minutes ago, I've been recording it.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. In a couple weeks, we're gonna have a Wonder Woman movie. The first female superhero major, release. People have been calling for a female superhero since Avengers. And Wonder Woman is definitely the most well-known female superhero, except she's never the most popular female superhero.
Yep.
She's got like this weird, crazy contradictions, with her thing. One, she's not a spin-off male character like Spider-Woman or She-Hulk or Batgirl, which is in her favor. And then she was supposed to be like a female icon, but if you look at her Golden Age books, they're all filled with kink. And I'm not knocking the guy. If you can get 2 women to live with him, good for him. And then in the 70s, she was famously dubbed a feminist icon by Gloria Steinem.
Yes.
And if you ask a lot of feminists now, they're like, oh, please, she's for the male gaze. Let's skip the out, that kind of thing. And I feel that, her skill set has taken a weird turn that she has to keep up with Superman, even though DC already has a Supergirl. She doesn't really sell that well in comics. For the most part, even though she's had a TV movie, 3 seasons of a TV show with Linda Carter, she had a straight-to-DVD animated movie. Where she's lived is in comic books, which is, traditionally has been a male-dominated subculture. And, I just never really met too many women. In fact, I can't even think of one. I would say I met in a comic book store. Maybe I met a couple at a convention. But, she's not the most popular female superhero now. Like, at any given time, they were usually, like, Harley's more popular than her now. Batman's more popular than her now.
Hell yeah. Black Widow probably now. Yeah, it's more like what I've always heard in the past. People like the idea of Wonder Woman, but I don't think anybody really likes the character.
I said that to pros. I said, Wonder Woman, like, people like the idea of Wonder Woman more than they like Wonder Woman. And pros have said you're exactly right.
Who said
even
that?
the great runs.
Listen, talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
I think
But even like when you think of the great runs of Wonder Woman, how many can you pull up?
not many. I mean, well, first off, look at the way she was. All right, she's created during World War II or before World War II.
And there was just a billion characters made back then.
Yeah, and as you can
Some
see,
of them, they lasted 1 issue and then they never saw them again.
yeah, other than friggin' Captain America and Wonder Woman, not many World War II superheroes created for the
Well, that's
war.
another thing I want to say in her defense. She survived the seduction of the innocent purge.
Right, which, and she had two. She was in 2 books at once, back in the 40s and 50s. You know, Adventure Comics, or I think it was Adventure. Sensational, and then her own title.
I didn't even know that.
And so, but you think about her, she's created for the war, but it's also dealt with all that kink and bondage.
Yeah.
So then when you get rid of that during the 40s, like after post-war and in the 50s, so then what? They make her, I think she's basically a tabula rasa. She's such a blank slate that every generation they reinvent her. She's a World War II. She's fighting for World War II. She's an Amazon warrior. She's bondage. She's into kink. She's a spy. She's a feminist. She's
They keep giving her new, more and more powers.
more and more power. They keep changing what she's supposed to stand for. Like Superman, for all whatever the costume changes or power changes they gave him over the years. Truth, justice, and the American way. Batman is vengeance. Wonder Woman, Captain America, the American dream. What is Wonder Woman? Like you look at every 5-10 years and she's in a different costume, different powers, feminist, kink.
She's the goddess of truth, now she's the goddess of war.
Yeah, so I think that's why the book doesn't really
She's an
work.
ambassador for peace.
Yeah, that's why I think the book doesn't really work, or her character doesn't work, because they haven't stuck to one thing.
And did you see the Kathy Lee Crosby TV movie?
I remember that came on when I was 8 years old, 74 maybe. I remember watching it because it was Wonder Woman. I knew who Wonder Woman was. Thought it sucked. Don't remember.
Was it boring?
Yeah, I remember it being boring to an 8-year-old.
Let's take a superhero and not let her do anything super. And I don't even think she had powers in that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, she didn't wear the right costume, which to me is no big deal. But
right, it's no big deal with me.
Yeah, but I don't remember her having any superpowers from what I remember. I think I remember her riding a horse. She
kind of had skills.
I think she had jujitsu. I think she had karate skills.
Yeah, like weird soft karate skills, like TV karate skills.
Yeah, I think that was much more of an adult soap opera than something geared towards fanboys or kids.
Yeah, it kind of was almost like TV mystery movie of the week.
Yeah.
Like it could have been a cop show.
Yeah,
But she got one. And then she goes into the Linda Carter one, which everybody holds up as like this golden series. The first series was set in the first season was set in World War II. The second season was set in the 1970s.
Yeah.
And was the first season a full season?
Let me see. I was just looking up the Linda the movie.
And the Linda Carter show was fun. And it's really like they introduced Wonder Girl really early on in that run because she was back in World War II when Deborah Winger came on board.
Yeah, that's right. Season 1.
Anytime you do a superhero show and you put Artie Feldman in it,
Exactly. Well, the one with Linda Carter started off as a movie in November of '75, okay. and then a series started in April of '76, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 episodes in the first season. And then season 2 had
probably a full season.
Yeah, 22 episodes.
Now, did that predate the Hulk?
And then season 3. Yeah, I thought the Hulk started in '79, I think, but let me double check. And then the third season,
maybe '78.
I'm back.
All right.
Hey, Mike. Mike, did you see the Kathy Lee Crosby TV movie, Wonder Woman movie?
Yeah, I remember that fondly.
What'd you like about it?
Well, it didn't look like Wonder Woman.
Right.
And I've always had a problem with the Star-Spangled motif with Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman, that's not her origin. She's not American.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been there since the 40s.
Even with Linda Carter. But in and of itself, I thought the story was good. I liked Ricardo Montalban because he was the villain.
Yeah.
I even liked the
Wow, you remember the story? Wow.
the Amazon.
I thought it was pretty dull.
Amazon girl.
Do you think she had any superpowers in that? I don't remember her
Yeah,
doing
but I
any
think they were very subdued. They were very down.
Like, I mean, she knew how to fight, and then she knew how to track a donkey. That's like, I remember a big thing. She showed up on the right donkey.
Yeah. You know, and those Price is Right girls weren't bad to look at.
But I like Kathleen Crosby, but boy, she did not emote very much in that.
No, I remember. That's why I was so bored by it. But wow. But so Mike, you're saying you don't like?
Was Hulk, so she did predate the Hulk.
Yeah, she did. I remember the Hulk was 78, 79, Dukes of Hazzard, and then her. But Mike, we were saying we think the reason why Wonder Woman never works is because every few years they reinvent her. She started off as a hero for World War II, who was into bondage. Then you figure post-war, she becomes this Amazon princess, this Amazon warrior. Then she becomes, like a spy without any powers when they were trying to make her Emma Peel.
60s.
Then they make her a feminist. Right. So we feel like the reason why she never succeeds is because she doesn't have a set characteristic. Like, Superman.
She's almost like a C-list hero who never lost a book.
Yeah, like Superman is basically one sentence. Truth, justice, American way. Batman is vengeance. Captain America is the American dream.
Right.
What's Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman is visually tied to the American dream, just by the mere nature of her costume.
Okay, and
that needs to change, first of all.
Well, I think it has.
Yeah, I think it's changed so much over the years that I don't think that's why there's always been a big following with her. Like you said, you knew some people that collected her book. I never knew anyone.
Yeah, but it was never because of her, though.
Yeah, you're saying it was because of the artwork, yeah.
Mike, did you like the Linda Carter show?
Yes.
I did too. I liked it.
And the stories were insipid, and when you watch them now, you could tell. But she was always nice to look at.
Yes.
The World War II...
She's very likable. She's very active.
Yeah. The World War II first season really didn't do anything for her.
Yeah, I liked it.
It wasn't until they brought her into the 70s, into the modern age.
I liked it the other way. They had Artie Johnson as a Nazi.
And she fought a Nazi guerrilla. She fought a Nazi guerrilla.
As a Nazi, I can't get past laughing.
Exactly. That's what I liked about it.
When she fought a Nazi guerrilla. How can you not like that?
Yeah. What's his name? Kyle Wagner I was like,
Lyle
why
Wagner.
is he on this show?
Lyle Wagner.
Why is he on this show?
Oh, he's a
zero.
Oh, see, I thought he was a great Steve Trevor. He was very handsome and personable, and just one of those guys that flirts with everyone and thinks he's hot. I thought he was perfect as Steve Trevor. He's supposed to be a hot shot. He's supposed to be a hot shot Air Force pilot. That's exactly what he was. He came across as that one of those guys that's like the center, like the world revolves around me. I thought that was great.
Really, to me, I always took him as like a 1960s sitcom dad. The guy who would step in for Fred McMurray if he ever got sick. I remember him being on Carol Burnett show when I couldn't figure out why he was on that show either.
The Carol Burnett show? He was a good comedic actor.
He was on a few. I didn't see it. Did you see the straight to DVD animated show movie, Mike?
No.
Gary, you saw it. You liked it.
I loved it, Mike. You have to watch it. It's probably the best portrayal of Wonder Woman you'll ever see.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, whenever I bring that up, like she had this thing and nobody really cared. She was one of the top 10 selling things. Yeah, the top 10 selling things when there was 8 movies. But now there's 20 Batman movies. She's way back.
Mm.
I think that movie sold 8,000 copies. Almost 9,000 copies.
To tell you the truth, I really didn't even like George Perez's run on the book.
Really?
No. The detail that's telltale for him was there. But if you look closely at the anatomy, it falls short more on that series than anything else he's ever done.
Maybe there was a lot of
Huh.
there was a lot riding on that series.
Yeah, that was the only time I think they really made her
I just
popular.
thought, he just blew me away with all the gods, the way the characters, and how much detail it was amazing. Like that's to me when I think of great runs. Like if I say great one-on-one runs, give me a couple. Like
I can't.
they hold up Greg Rucker and they hold up what's his name? What's her name? Gail Simone. And I read them. I read a bit of them, and they're not bad. I don't want to knock either one of them. Gary, actually, last year, Gary helped me put a couple of boxes together for my cousin Susan. She's a freshman in high school now.
Okay.
And I was surprised how much Wonder Woman I had. I had J. Michael Straczynski's run, which was no great shakes. I had the New 52.
Which is surprising for Straczynski.
Yeah, and to me, Straczynski's run was the most talked about run because they gave up hands. And I was like, really? This woman?
Yeah.
This is the the Trinity, and she's languished in obscurity for all these years, and like I don't remember people going crazy about Burns' run. I mean, gave it the bike shorts.
Yeah.
I remember when Artemis came on, but he didn't do that, did he?
No, I don't think. No, that was William Messer-Loebs, I think, introduced Artemis. Him and Mike Diodato right after Byrne. Yeah, Byrne.
Yes,
Byrne by the mid '90s, I think his star had dimmed so much because of his ugly artwork that I think by the time he came to Wonder Woman, no one really cared.
Who, Diodato?
No, Byrne.
Byrne. John Byrne's run on Wonder Woman.
See,
I don't remember everybody going, "Oh my God, you got to read this run," or even sales records or anything like that. Did you see the on-air pilot with that beautiful girl from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? What's her name?
Adriana Palacki or whatever her name is?
Adriana Palacki.
I saw bits and pieces of it.
I saw the whole thing, and it was a bad Wonder Woman show, but I thought she was very good in it. And of course, you see her on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now. She's like the tallest person on the damn show. Perfect for that.
Yeah, I remember seeing bits and pieces of it on YouTube.
I think costume was wrong. They really packed her in there.
Yeah, the bustier. I mean, she
Yeah.
doesn't look bad with the pants.
No, yeah, I thought the pants looked good.
Yeah, I mean, and she looks good because she's tall, and she's
Great shape.
she's in great
Beautiful.
shape. But it was written by David E. Kelly, who always had a rep for writing strong women.
Right, exactly.
Just don't know
But
why.
he has no idea how to write comics.
No, David E. Kelly never wrote a comic book.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't know how.
Yeah, but his interpretation of her on the TV show, that one episode, was pretty good from what I saw. I don't know why it failed.
I mean, she tortured somebody. I was in the hospital. She tortured the location of the base out. I was like, why don't you just use a lasso?
Yeah. See, but
I
to me,
the
this
fights
is...
were okay, especially at the end when she beat the hell out of all those super soldiers. That was good. I like that.
See, to me, Wonder Woman...
Special effects weren't finished.
Here's what I think Wonder Woman is. Wonder Woman is a great merchandising icon. You could buy the underoos, you could buy the toys, you could buy the books, give them to little girls, and that could be their role model. Girls could say, I'm Wonder Woman at Halloween or whatever, or with the underoos, and think they're a princess, or think they're an Amazon warrior, and they like the idea of Wonder Woman. But I think that's it.
The picture of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman up there on underoos boxes, and Twinkies and all that. Yeah, and people, that's one of the things that kind of annoys me. People look at that and say, well, Wonder Woman, Superman, Wonder Woman, she's just as good. And she hasn't been just as good as those two.
No, she never has. Even goofy Superman post-World War II, with all that Jimmy Olsen stuff and all that wacky Superman stuff in the 50s, he was still usually popular. I never heard anyone ever put Wonder Woman... People degrade her wacky adventures from that era. Like talking to horses, talking to animals, falling in love with...
I was going to bring that up. It seems like a lot of female heroes get that talking to animals thing. Remember how many pets Supergirl had?
Yeah, Supergirl had the pet Streaky.
Comet, Streaky.
Yeah, Comet.
Reppo.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's sort of an iconic thing for young girls.
Yes, yeah. I totally agree. It's very nurturing. Women, oh, they take care of pets. Oh, look, they're very emotional. They like pets. Yeah, I think that is for girls. But I think that's what exactly
See, I
what
thought I was
women.
going to get all the hate mail this week.
Yeah, we are. If we get any comments, yeah. See, so I think that's what Wonder Woman is. You tell a young girl, you could be anything you want. You could be strong and powerful and independent like Wonder Woman. And that's it. That's all you have to tell them. It's not like, wow, Wonder Woman is this great Amazon warrior, or Wonder Woman kicks ass, or Wonder Woman is a diplomat for the UN. You just say you could be as strong and independent as Wonder Woman. That's it. That's really basically it. I think, you don't tell.
Is that enough, though?
That's a good question. She's had a book going since 1940, 1939. Is it,
after Crisis, that was the only break in her thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was it, yeah. I mean, she never had a real break, and like I told Patrick, there was always this rumor. There was always this floating rumor going around for years that Wonder Woman never sold, but DC had to keep publishing it continuously, or else the rights would revert back to the William Marston estate, and that's why people were saying when her original book ended. Wait, let me tell. I don't know if Mike knows this, but Mike, when her original book ended post-Crisis, before the Perez one, there was like a 3-month break. Because Perez, I think, was late on the book, or he needed more time. But those 3 months, remember they put out like a Trina Robbins miniseries?
Yeah.
So people were saying they had to keep that book going for those 3 months, or else DC would have lost the rights. Because
they need to do it every month?
Yeah, that's supposedly always been a rumor. I've been hearing for over 20 years. I've been hearing this rumor.
Wow, we should research that.
Yeah,
I've heard that before, too.
Yeah, see, Mike heard it before, too. And Mike, you're a dealer now. You're a vendor. You go to shows. You buy collections to flip. Have you ever bought a collection where you've seen someone have a large run of Wonder Woman?
No.
Yeah, see, not even the Perez books, which I think were usually popular for a time.
Yeah, I don't think they're worth anything now, are they?
No, but
I'd have to double check that.
But I mean, but still, if you're going to sell off your whole collection because you need room or you need money, even in my store, I've only saw one person come in with a whole bunch of Wonder Woman. One time, that was it.
In your store, guy, how many people have Wonder Woman on their pull list? Give or take.
Before New 52, a handful. Post New 52, I think I had about maybe a couple of dozen. Because, I said, it was for the writing.
Handful, you mean like say 3 to 5, or like 5 to 6?
Yeah,
6 to 7?
Yeah, like before New 52, under 10. Under 10. Post 52, couple of dozen. Well, that was because of the Azzarello and Chang. That was basically it.
That's why I told Chang. I said people like the idea of Wonder Woman more than they like Wonder Woman. You agree with me completely?
Yeah, it is.
It sounds to me like the problem that DC is having with Wonder Woman falls even more under marketing than it does under creativity.
I don't know.
What do you mean by that, Mike? Because when I think of marketing, I think she's very successful. When we saw all those ads in the comics in the 70s, they always made stickers, underoos.
Yeah,
they always made things. They always made things for Wonder Woman, but I never knew anyone who collected books.
Who made the superhero dolls in the 70s?
Migo, yeah.
Yeah, Migo. She had her own doll.
Those are all ancillary products. The source material is the comics. So wouldn't you think that the comics should be thriving more than anything else?
Well, that's what we're saying. That's one of our contradictions, is that she's probably a merchandising powerhouse, and she's a comic book pipsqueak.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're going to say, I hear marketing all the time, marketing. They got to market comics better. They have marketers. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like marketing just got invented. They've been trying to sell comics forever. It's like you can't just say, well, they didn't market Wonder Woman right. Well, you can say that about, a dozen characters.
True.
True, but if she's
But
considered one of the
she's a
premier,
character that should sell herself.
yes, but like I was saying, if she's one of the premier characters, like you don't really need to sell Batman and Superman, but you do, and their books sell
Right now.
or have always sold well, better than hers.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
I always felt another thing what they did with her, they kept, like, especially now, say the past 10 years, they're trying to keep her on pace with Superman, sort of his power level. And growing up, I always thought of her as sort of, I don't know, Luke Cage power level, but she had fighting skills. You know, she could block bullets, she could, do all that Amazon stuff, and ride horses and kangaroos, and, all that kind of Greek cool stuff.
Actually, if you remember Before Tomorrow storyline in Superman by Azzarello and Jim Lee, I think the issue where Superman had to go toe-to-toe almost the entire issue with Wonder Woman was one of the most popular issues of that run.
Okay.
Because they fought in the Fortress of Solitude, and
Yes.
it was a stalemate, but it was an intense fight. One
Like-
you're usually not used to seeing in Superman.
Right, okay. But in, like, say, in the 1970s, guy, when you started, like, knowing about Wonder Woman, do you think she was as strong as Superman?
no.
She couldn't fly in the 70s, could she?
No.
That was weird. It's like she had the invisible jet, which was always one of her iconic things. She did fly for a brief period of time. I forget when.
Yeah, riding the air.
Yeah, the air currents.
When did that
Like
start?
bones of a bird.
Maybe. Oh, when did that start? I don't know, but I remember seeing it in certain books. Like if she didn't have her
Like in the
jet,
Golden Age, she couldn't fly.
yeah, like in 70s and 80s, like her jet. When she didn't have her jet, she flew on the air currents. When she was in the JLA, I think, maybe. But she used her jet too in the JLA. But what I was saying is that Alan Moore started to portray her as Superman level strength in that Superman annual for the Man Who Has Everything, where
That's a great story.
where Superman is knocked unconscious, or in that memory flower thing, and then Wonder Woman has to go toe to toe with Mogul.
See, I think she was, even in that one, I thought that, like, what I considered her as a kid, when I read her comics in my cousin's house, she didn't seem that powerful to me.
Yeah.
And in that one, she seemed powerful, like more powerful than I knew her, but just under Superman.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
from that
Yes.
people.
Yes, the only reason why she could face off against Mogul is because of her fighting skills, not because of her strength. Yeah.
But then I feel like, well, you already have Supergirl. Why do you need a Wonder Woman who's Kryptonian level? And I wonder if Supergirl
Because she's an Amazon warrior. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, but nobody ever felt like Supergirl was ever. It's weird. Nobody ever felt Supergirl was always on the same power level as Superman, though she should be.
Well, she's right around there.
Yeah, but they never really portrayed it until
Well,
Crisis.
if Superman was a grown man, she was a teenage girl, so that kind of thing,
But that shouldn't have really affected. I mean, if they're living batteries, her age and her size shouldn't have affected her strength. If they're both living under the yellow sun, if they're both getting their powers from the yellow sun, it shouldn't have affected them differently. But it did. Maybe that's why they wanted to make Wonder Woman powerful, because they felt like Supergirl was always getting a short shrift. Because remember, and even when Wonder Woman was in the Justice League, and a lot of writers have complained that in the past, she really did nothing in those Justice League comics for a long time. She was basically taking the notes, the minutes of the meeting, for a long period of time.
Just like a secretary.
Yeah. So I figure, then I guess
the story on the Justice Society Wonder Woman and the Secretary, it's really interesting because it seems like it's all about sexism, but they used Wonder Woman to push that book. They needed her to be in there, but they didn't want to break the thing of, like, they would have, like, a guy join it, and then he would be popular, he'd get his own series. So she couldn't be a member because she already had her own book.
Oh, really? That was for the old Justice Society comic?
Yep.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
why she was the secretary. Everybody thinks that, it was because, ooh, it's an old boys network, and they made the little girl take the minutes. But no, it was because she already had her own book, and they wanted her in the book to help sell the Justice Society.
Oh, okay.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and the idea of the Justice Society was they wanted to make some characters popular enough to spin off into their own book. So once you sort of got your own book, then you weren't in the Justice Society anymore.
Okay. So you're basically saying that her sales were so good in the 40s.
Yeah.
That they put her in Justice Society to sell that book. Okay, so then what happens to her post World War II?
Well, you gotta remember, it's 10 cents. You know, how many moms get a 10-cent book for their daughter? You know what I mean? It's not like, you know what I mean? Like even in the 70s, what, 20 cents, 25 cents, you know, you can buy it. But once they move to specialty shops, mom and dad aren't going in there and spending $1 on one of them.
Yeah, that is true.
And like I said, it's a male-dominated pop culture, subculture, and guys started the stores, guys went in the stores, guys were writing the books, guys were drawing the books. So how much room could she have?
I don't know, but like we said, Alan Moore and some writers started making her powerful because.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, and like we were talking about earlier at lunch, I think once comics went into the specialty store, I think men like stories more than women, even though women read more, according to stats. Well, I think men went out of their way to.
I don't think that's true. I just think that.
Well, I think men like hero stories more than women. Like you're saying, once the direct market took advantage, women or mothers who used to buy maybe Wonder Woman for their little girls.
Right.
Like you said, weren't going out of their way to go to a specialty shop.
Yeah, like I said,
well, we would.
Me
and you would go out of our way, and we did as kids, because we liked that addiction to stories and superhero stories.
Right. I was always looking for a new comic book.
Right. So maybe the direct market hurt Wonder Woman more than it helped.
Absolutely. It absolutely hurt. But then again, like I said, I couldn't believe how much Wonder Woman comics I had. Somebody gave me a whole bunch of Wonder Woman trades. So I read Greg Rucker and what's his name, and they were good, but they didn't blow my socks off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and think about I can't think of like we were saying before, Mike, when you were there, was like when you think of great runs, you say Judas Contract, Dark Phoenix Saga, the Great Darkness Saga. Those you know what I mean? Like. You know what I mean? Like the great, they have a title with it. You know what I mean? And I can't think of one Wonder Woman run that has the title. You could say George Perez's run, but it wasn't like George Perez and the Fall of Asgard or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
exactly. Yeah.
What else was I going to say about that?
The only other time she was controversial or known is when she killed Maxwell Lord, and that whole identity. Infinite thing, whatever that crossover event was called.
Yeah,
and people got pissed off that she killed when it was basically like, well, if you're going to make her an Amazon warrior, of course she has to kill.
She had to kill him because he had control of Superman, and you cannot let anybody. That's why I don't like Supergirl. You can't let anybody but Superman have Superman's powers. It can't be trusted. Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El is the only guy that can be trusted with that level of power. At least that's how I see it.
I mean, it's kind of weird.
Now there are tons of guys then.
No, I was going to say, it seems like there's a lot more characters who are more powerful than Superman.
Now?
Oh, even I thought back when growing up, well, in the 80s, there started to be a hell of a lot more coming about.
In DC or Marvel, just DC or Marvel. You can't go to like the Authority.
No, in DC, they made Swamp. Alan Moore made Swamp Thing an Earth Elemental, which, one of the 4 basic elements, which could kick Superman's ass. That's an Earth Elemental. You can't fuck with that. So they were there. I think there are a lot of people who had. Well, Superman to me is not super because of his powers. He gets the name Superman because he's an inspiration to make other people better than what they are. That's the way he started off. He was a little bit stronger than the average man, but he fought for basically human rights, for the good guy, for the underdog.
Yeah.
It's him. He inspires people to be better. That's why I think he gets the name Superman, not because he could fly through the sun. Because fucking you could throw Wolverine through the sun now and he regenerates. But nobody looks up to Wolverine.
He's a melty wax guy.
Nobody looks up to Wolverine as an inspiration as a hero.
No.
You look up
like
this.
we said, Wolverine's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look up this.
Yeah. Did you read any Wonder Woman when you were sitting in the store?
The Azzarello run. Yeah. And like I said, I read those Gene Colan, Roy Thomas books for a little bit, but then I got bored. She never had a great rogues gallery.
Yeah, that's another thing.
She just, Cheetah, Cheetah, or the Colossal Woman, whatever her name is.
What about Egg Food?
Yeah, that's goofy. That was the goofy 60s stuff that they had to stop. That's why they made her, what's her name, from the Avengers.
The best hero in the world, if you have shitty villains, it doesn't matter.
Well, I think even if you have a bad rogues gallery, if you're an interesting character yourself, but I just never thought she was that interesting. She's a diplomat. Oh, she wants to bring about world peace. Oh, okay,
I was thought, he's going to bring about world peace by punching people?
Yeah, exactly. It's the UN's been trying to do that since the end of World War II, and all the UN does is sit around and talk.
Well, she got kicked out of the UN. They made her the ambassador a few months ago, and then people took offense and kicked her out.
Yeah.
I read about that.
See, that's what I mean. So many people have so many different ideas of what Wonder Woman is supposed to represent. That's why she's not an interesting character, because you're either trying to appease everyone, or you just have this blank slate where you can throw anything on, and after a while, a blank slate gets boring.
So, that leads me to this question. With the Wonder Woman movie a couple of weeks away, can you believe it? Do you think that this movie is going to put Wonder Woman, so to speak, back on the map?
If it's good, but I don't, Mike, because movies don't affect the comics. Maybe there'll be tons of reviews in all the papers. New York Times will review it and all the thing, and everybody will mention is the first female superhero, blah 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 blah, ad nauseum, and part of me suspects, after the Ghostbusters thing, even if it's not good, nobody's going to give it a bad review. But the internet will crush it. But everything I've seen looks good. You know what I mean? I'm excited for it. I want to see, okay, this is your shot. Come at me. Give it your best shot.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it'll make her on the map in terms of sort of the Linda Carter map, but not the comic book map. I think there'll be a lot of women saying, "Oh yeah, I love Wonder Woman. I'm gonna buy the DVD."
Yeah. I think that too. She'll be very popular in popular culture by people will be dressing up like her for the Mermaid Parade, for the Gay Pride Parade, for the Halloween Parade. They'll all say she's kick-ass, she doesn't take shit from men, she's nobody's fool. It will not affect the comics at all. At all. But she'll be a popular feminist icon because she has a sword.
Not the new comics anyway. It'll affect the speculators. It'll affect the package.
Yeah. But I mean,
what do you think they're going to be looking for?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just going to ask. What do you think they're going to be looking for, the speculators? I mean, what, the first appearance of Etta Candy? It's like
that's from 1940s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
think it's going to be centralized like that. I think it'll be just in terms of Wonder Woman on a broader scope. I think everybody, if this movie is going to be the hit that I think it's going to be. Hold on 1 second.
See, I think it'll be a hit, but he went on hold. But I'm thinking, I don't see anybody going to buy back issues of Wonder Woman. I think people are just going to buy the newer issues, or anybody who wants to get into Wonder Woman.
And I don't think they're going to do that.
They
I think they're going to go to the movie. They're going to say, "Yeah, girl power," and go home and forget all about the comics.
Yep. There'll be a small bump, maybe, because you want to get young girls into it. But
yeah, maybe they'll get maybe there'll be a YA novel like the Black Widow YAs.
Yeah, or the Mary Jane
They'll buy
YA novels.
They'll buy it on what's his name, Comixology. Maybe they'll buy a couple.
Yeah.
They'll buy trades. By the way, I was cruising Wonder Woman on Amazon trades. I saw one. I was like a slipcase with 4 hardcovers for $30, and I was looking. Then I started looking at all the trades and stuff. There were many more. It was like 9 guys to every woman who reviewed like the Wonder Woman
Of
trades.
course, of course, of course.
You know, where are these girls? Where are these fangirls?
The fangirls you'll see at cons, parades, Halloween. That's where you'll see them. Or you know what's going to sell? People will buy a Wonder Woman statue or a doll and put it on their bookshelf. Or
T-shirts.
put T-shirts.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's
nothing wrong with that. But the comics, yeah.
Oh.
I don't see I don't get Mike's point when he comes back. I want to ask him because, like I said, if you're going to buy a back issue of Wonder Woman or a Speculator's Market, the movies take place in World War I. This movie, it's not the comics take place from World War II. So
I'm back.
Okay, Mike. I explain what you were trying to say because I don't see it. Being a vendor myself,
Yeah,
I don't see. I don't
about
see.
the Speculator's Market. Like, who do you
I mean,
think's
I
gonna
could
be-
be wrong, but that's what I think may happen. If
You
this
think-
movie is going to be as good as I think it's going to be.
Do you think fanboys will be buying more Wonder Woman, or do you think that a new swell of female fans will come in and say, "Well, I want to have the George Perez run, and I don't want to buy it in trade, so I'm going to buy it in back issue"?
I think it's going to be a little bit more women getting involved.
I think you're insane.
No, because you know what is, Mike? Like I was saying, since Wonder Woman is all things for all different people, don't forget, this movie takes place in World War One. The whole history.
That aspect of it is genius.
Me too. But I don't see it on the speculator market because if a speculator's going to go, whoa, let's get some back issues of Wonder Woman, they're going to go up in price. But that's World War II stuff. You know, anybody who likes the movie is not going to go. Can I get some World War One? Can I get some World War One storylines? And everybody's going to go, no, she started off in World War II, and then that person's going to go, fuck that.
It'll be a trade from Barnes and Noble or Amazon,
Yeah,
or download it.
Or like I said to Patrick when you were on hold, there may be some issues, a bump up to get little girls into reading it because she's going to be a feminist icon for an 8-year-old girl. You know. Which, I don't know, does the Supergirl TV show have the effect on the Supergirl comic? I don't know. But I could see a small bump in the newer books, and then that's it. And then nothing.
But I'll tell you this, because I'm always looking for, I have a big family, Mike, and I have a lot of nieces. And I'm always looking for
soulless redheads
stuff. And they're really doing a really good job of getting stuff for girls, like the DC superhero girls.
Yeah.
There's like Step Into Reading's got superhero books. The Golden Key books got superhero books. And the Golden Key books, like, they're in my pharmacy. So right there, you've got Spider-Man, Captain America, the Avengers, the whole... and I think Batman. I think that one.
The main focus of books like the Golden Key books and stuff and the DC superhero girls and stuff, the true focus behind that is to promote literacy. So, and they're just using characters like Wonder Woman as a vehicle for that. And it's a perfect vehicle for that, especially for young girls.
I don't think they need to do that. There are tons of kids' books out there. They're just all over themselves. Like, I mean, after Harry Potter hit big, everybody and their mother went that way.
Yeah, exactly. And then you had the
YA novels. Everybody went that. I mean, think about all the copies Twilight sold that horrible book. And then everybody copied that.
And then Hunger Games with Katniss.
I have this experiment I've been doing with superhero movies, and anybody who is this, come at me. It's my sexist experiment. I look around the stadium, the auditorium before the movie starts, and I look for groups of girls by themselves, not with their boyfriends, but on their own, like 2 or 3 girls hanging out. I just want to go see Tony Stark because I love superheroes. We've been told, over and over that keep that in mind. But do you think opening weekend it's going to be fanboy central like most superheroes, or do you think it'll be a mixed crowd?
It's going to be a mixed crowd.
Yeah, I think it's going to be mixed. I think you're going to get a lot of women and girls going out Thursday night, Friday night to see it. Damn right.
You think teenagers will go see it? Teenage girls will go see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
They won't bootleg it?
No.
Well,
I think
some
they'll.
will try, but I don't think a lot.
Yeah, I think they'll go see it. I think this is a good movie for girls to go see, for empowerment. I think it's a good date. It's going to be a good date movie, especially if you're a teenager. You know, a guy taking a chick to see the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, that's good because you could actually see a movie, like an action movie instead of going to see a chick flick and.
Yeah, instead of seeing chick flick or seeing just a guy action
Right.
movie where the woman is used to be a damsel in distress, not anymore.
Does anybody know if DC's doing an adaptation of the film?
Probably they do it. For some reason, they do adaptations for every movie came out ever, and nobody buys it.
Yeah, well, we were just at the comic store today, and we didn't see. Well, we went to a comic store that doesn't.
Not about comics.
Yeah.
Like,
Where the
I
hell
have
is
things
it?
on my pull list, and I have the money, and I still can't buy it. I go to the store. I started going to the store because they had bootleg animes, subtitled, fan subs in the 90s, right?
Sailor Moon.
And they've been very nice to me, but they're mostly a Yu-Gi-Oh store. That's where they make their money. The people that ran the store are two old Korean people. He can't even come now. She's got to be in her 70s. Knows nothing about comics. She doesn't care. She just wants to sell stuff. There is comics on the rack from like 7 years ago. Probably 10 years. What do you think, Gav? If you went through like that, I mean, it's
Yeah.
insane how much product they have up there.
Yeah, but
But she's very nice and, whatever. I can get a spot most times.
yeah, but it's not a real comic store that you could go in and talk about comics.
You go on the weekends, Mike, and there were just kids after kid after kid playing Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. Just filled with, like, grammar school, junior high, and high school kids just battling out with Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm like, wow, not even Magic? Nope, Yu-Gi-Oh! It's been Yu-Gi-Oh! For over 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
we should go to We should try Pinocchio. That's supposedly another store that's frozen in time.
Is that the one down on
McDonald Avenue?
McDonald Avenue?
Yeah.
I should. Yeah, I want to, because I think I bought Luke Cage #1, Claws of the Cat #1, and Iron Man #1 now.
Really?
Yeah.
How much did you pay for those?
Like $15. This is like 1979.
Really, that much back in '79? $15 for Luke Cage 1?
Yeah.
Really? Because I remember, like, you couldn't give away Luke Cage comics for a while in the '80s, you know?
But it was a #1.
It was a
and
#1,
I
yeah.
still say, Mike, that era of comics has the best cover. Marvel's best covers came from that era. That 20-cent era.
Hmm.
Oh, hell
They
yeah.
had like the bands, they had the
Agree.
black band up top and the black band in the middle. Almost like
See, a lot of people didn't like that because it cut out
See,
the
I love
artwork.
that. I thought the colors just jumped out and they were much better.
They did that for about a little over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
And who drew most of those covers in the '70s in that era was Gil Kane, because Gil Kane knew how to
Yeah,
lay
Gil
out
Kane.
action. Gil Kane knew how to lay out a cover like no one's business.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you picked them up off the stands. You saw that and you're like, holy shit. But I
Well,
just
Getting back to the movie, what's your prediction on how much money it makes?
I think so far. I don't have the figures in front of me on how Batman v Superman did.
Football, it made a ton of money, but only because Batman vs Superman.
But I definitely think Wonder Woman is going to be up there.
Like 700 million.
worldwide.
Higher.
I think high. Well, she is well known. I'd be surprised she doesn't more than 700 million.
I'll be surprised too if she hits 700. I'm thinking she might only do 500 million,
Do you
600
think
million.
she gets a part 2? You get a
No,
second
I think
movie?
she'll do more than that. I really think she'll do
I'm writing it down, Mike. I'm writing it right down.
Okay.
Do
We shall see.
you think she gets a second movie?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's almost what I give it. The only thing that I'm worried about is what Scott Snyder is still in control at this point in the movies. Like the next movie after Wonder Woman is Justice League. We still have Justice League, but after that they saw Batman versus Superman, and then like, well, sorry, Zack, you're out.
Oh, see, I thought what's his name? I thought Jeff Johns was on board for this Wonder Woman movie. I thought this is still part of his.
Yeah, I think he came in late though.
Okay.
Like
I don't know.
this went into production and all the writing and all that kind of stuff, and all the things you have to do to make a movie. Zack Snyder was still the Kevin Feige of DC.
Okay, I could see it doing well in America, but I can't see Wonder Woman doing well in like China, Asian countries.
She's big in the Philippines.
Well,
she's going to do great in Europe.
I don't know if she'll do that good in Europe. World War One saga? I don't know, but I can't see her doing big in China. She may be big in the Philippines, but the Philippines, it's totally different from like Korea or China or Japan, where they treat their women like shit, like second-class citizens. So I can't see them going to see that. It's not going to do well in the Middle East.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it'll maybe only do 550 million worldwide. Seriously.
Okay, I think for Christmas there are going to be a lot of women, a lot of girls who's going to get that as a present.
Yes. Oh, the DVD sales come Christmas. Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
I was a little shaky with Gal Gadot, whatever you spell her name. How do you say her name? As casting her, because I felt she was kind of a tiny, skinny, not in shape kind of girl. Like compared to, like Adriana Flacchi and Linda Carter, these are buxom women, but they're also healthy looking, you know what I mean? She looks, when I first saw her, I was like, well, that's a model that doesn't eat,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
She was one of my favorite things about Batman vs. Superman. I think she did fine. A friend of ours, Mike, says she's not a very good actress. And the fact that she was in the Fast and Furious movies, I kind of believe him. But I think everything I've seen of this looks good. I like the comedy that I've seen. I like the bracelets blocking the bullets. I like the costume. I'm really interested in it. To see what they do. Not that I love Wonder Woman, but I think this is a very interesting picture from my point of view. And if she does big, how big does she have to go? How much money does she have to go for another chick to get a movie? Because I can see those Hollywood executives saying, Ghostbusters? Don't that kill?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking too. Ghostbusters, you had 3 popular comedians from the most popular sketch comedy show of the last 40 years. They all had reps of being in other comedic movies. Ghostbusters was a brand that's like from the 80s. It's beloved, and it bombed. And I don't know why. I would have to say, call me crazy, the movie has to make over $1 billion worldwide for another female superhero movie.
Holy Toledo.
$1 billion is money in the bank. $1 billion is money in the bank.
If that makes $1 billion,
which it won't,
and there's going to be a lot of happy executives.
I think if people saw $1 billion, but to put it like this: Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Rey was the lead. Did that movie make $1 billion because of a strong female lead character? No, it made it because of the brand name. So I think you're taking an unproven property with a bad history of movies and TV shows, shaky history, that has to cross the $1 billion threshold.
On any given month, about 35,000 copies.
Yeah, which people say when that book was selling 40 to 50,000 under the Azzarello reboot, people were stunned it was doing that well, because people in the industry were like, Wonder Woman never sold this well.
That was a good run. That was a really fun run.
Yeah, but 50,000 is middle of the pack in the comic book industry.
Listen, Gary, my favorite guy is Captain America. If Captain America sells 60,000 copies, Marvel would be flipping their lid.
Well, he has at some point in the past.
Yes, but it goes up and down.
Yes, that's what I was just going to say.
Large, he's the middle of the pack guy.
But he has his peaks and valleys. Wonder Woman, to me, has always been a steady, not a valley, but not a peak either, you know? Like if people are flipping out over her selling 35, 40,000 when the new 52 came around, what the fuck was she selling before that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you figure that Perez must have done great numbers, and then the Byrne must have done good numbers because he was John Byrne, and he was still, like, you know, the man back then.
Yeah.
And, probably the Greg Rucker one and the Gail Simone one did okay, but I don't think they got a bump because those two people.
I don't think so
either. Even though Greg Rucker is he's a very good writer and she's a good writer.
And plus there was a run where you had Walt Simonson writing it and Phil Jimenez drawing it. I mean,
oh yes,
Walt Simonson writing it alone. I mean, just he's a good writer when it comes to dealing with gods. But I don't know anyone who talks about his run. As like a great storyline.
I also felt in the book, like, nobody wanted to get on it, you know what I mean? Like DC never took, except for the Perez run, like, that was a big thing. Like, I never felt like, everybody wanted to do X-Men. How many people wanted to do it?
Exactly.
But, I mean, I guess she's had some top talent. Perez, Byrne, Walt Simonson, Phil Jimenez, was he a star?
Yeah, he's a fan favorite. He's a star. He's a star.
Okay. What made him a star, by the way? I don't remember.
Looking like George Perez artwork.
Yeah. I met him. He's a nice guy.
He is. He's great. He's a great guy. But I think that was it because you couldn't get Perez every month because Perez kind of slow, kind of had health problems, eye problems.
Yeah.
So instead of Perez, you get Phil Jimenez, who's Perez sideways. Not light. He's very good.
Well, that J. Michael Straczynski run, I talked to the artist, and I was like, what's going on? Because it was always delayed. And I said, what's the deal? You having trouble? Do you think, when he was, I'm not late. Freaking Straczynski sent me in with 8 days left. How am I going to do that on my own?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, by the way, Secret Empire's getting a 10th edition.
I saw that too.
We didn't see that coming.
But Mike, are you still there?
I think he went to walk his dog.
Oh, okay. But I'm looking at this week's
merchandise. You think it'll sell? Do you think it'll sell not Batman level merchandise?
I'm listening to you guys.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of noise from this end, so I muted it.
I think the T-shirts will sell very well. I think the T-shirts will probably sell the most. I think she'll sell a few statues. She'll sell a few action figures. Again, not Batman numbers. Maybe not even Superman numbers, but she'll do very well. I think she'll do okay.
I think everybody's looking out for them now. They said they want strong characters. I think Batgirl. Do you think?
But see, I think with Batgirl. But wait, I was going to say, I think with Batgirl, because she's so integrated with being part of Batman, that, you kind of lump her in with Batman and Batman merchandise.
Yeah, like I said.
This is what's
I said, think about all the think about Marvel's top characters. Captain Marvel, spin-off from the old Captain Marvel. She-Hulk, spin-off from Bruce Banner.
Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman. How many Spider-Women are there? 4?
Yeah.
Who else is out there? Hawkeye, Kate Bishop. And then you have Batgirl, Supergirl. Who else for DC? Spin-off. Not Black Canary, she's original. Santana's kind of a spin-off, but nobody remembers the original, so
right.
Halves.
But I think that's it. I think Wonder Woman has the burden of being an original character. And even Black Widow, you could say, is an original character, but she's...
Yes.
But again, being part of... I think people may say, well, she has spider powers, so they think it may lump her in with Spider-Man, but she's not. But Wonder Woman is going to have that burden of being a totally original character.
Well, and she's going to be the first chick to have a superhero movie in an era of big budget superheroes.
Yes, exactly. So like I said, that's why I think...
A lot of pressure, I think.
Yes.
Gal, whatever you could go. I mean,
Yeah.
good luck.
If this,
I don't wish you ill.
if this movie makes Ghostbuster numbers, that's the end of the franchise.
Yes.
You know, I don't think it will. I think a lot of people are going to go out of curiosity's sake. A lot of feminists are going to go. A lot of feminists are going to go. It's going to be a good date movie. I think it's going to do well. But like I said, worldwide.
Everybody on TV and goes to be
yes.
All those 6 o'clock, 5 minutes news things going to be like, oh, I wonder what movie's coming out this week. Oh, the first week superhero, the first week superhero, the first week superhero. Got to go movie. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be on Entertainment Tonight. It's going to be on the Regs, Variety, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Very soon. I think whatever they do in terms of advertising, on top of that, they're going to get a whole lot of free publicity. Just the fact that she's Wonder Woman, which is a household name, even though nobody really knows who she is, and she's the first character to get first female superhero to get on.
Exactly. I totally agree with it. It is a burden. I don't know why Marvel never just decided to do a Black Widow.
But the thing is, you have to big number that opening day, because I think the next week is Tom Cruise's money.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for that at all.
But the money?
Nope.
I don't know. It's Tom Cruise doing a horror movie. I think that might...
It's a monster movie more, like we were talking about. It's a monster movie more than a horror movie.
Yeah, it's a monster movie. And it's an action... It's an action monster movie. Tom Cruise action movies, most of them do well. You know.
Listen,
I don't know.
You can talk about how weird Tom Cruise is, but man, when he's in a movie, he brings it.
Yeah.
He's doing his own stunts. He's the first guy there and the last guy, that's what I heard. He's the first guy there and the last guy with the sun.
Yeah. But I just, I'm really surprised Marvel or Disney never took a chance on Black Widow movie like we talked about in the past. A spin-off.
Black Widow, you cannot put her in the spotlight. It hasn't worked in the comics. It's not going to work in the movies.
I think it could have worked in the movies. It's a spin-off from the third most successful movie ever made, money-wise. You could have made her a spy movie. You could have done an espionage movie, like the way Winter Soldier was. But not only that, but Patrick, look at Disney's success with princesses. Frozen, the top animated movie of all time.
It's not the same thing at all. It's not the same thing at all.
But that's the way Disney could have, marketed it. They have the best marketing machine on earth.
Like a ton of money, and parents always buy the DVD or buy it on iTunes, whatever.
No, but they went to see it in the theater. That the woman with the redheaded one with the arrow, she was successful too. Disney,
it's little girls. This is not Black Widow's not going to be for little girls. It's not going to take out.
You could still market it as a Disney action adventure movie with a strong female. You could have marketed it like that.
I honestly, I would have been elected. I absolutely have no doubt. In my mind,
Mike is gone for some reason. I don't know what happened.
He hates you.
He hates you because you talk too much, and you're a redheaded ginger, soulless bastard. Mike's a good man of faith. That's why. No, I think a spin-off from the most successful movie franchise of all time would have worked. Not Avengers numbers, but I think it could have been a nice chunk of change, up 300 to 500 million.
Maybe if they, $40 million budget, maybe I would go for it, but otherwise, no.
So
yeah, are you there? We lost you for a second.
Yeah, I got bumped off by an ambulance.
Oh, okay.
Mike,
yeah,
that's interesting.
No, I'm right here.
Very good. What else does this picture need to do?
This picture.
Other than sell.
Well, that's all it has to do, I think.
Well,
what do you think? It's going to have a message? What do you think? You think they're worried about a message about empowerment? They want to make sure this movie makes money to lead into the Justice League movie and to keep doing a successful franchise with her. That's all they wanted to do. So I think that's...
One of the things I feel because it's sitting back in World War I, it gives her a gravitas that Batman and Superman don't have. And I think that was a good move.
Yes, the idea of making her timeless and having her arise in World War I, I think, was a lot better than connecting her to World War II.
Yes.
Because
I agree.
People might have made unfair assumptions comparing her to Captain America, but I think putting her in World War I is a lot better.
I saw the headline, but they were comparing it to Captain America, which is fine. But the thing is, again, her franchise, fight in this movie, who can fight in the next movie? You're gonna fight Cheetah in the next movie? You're gonna fight Titana? Giganta.
Giganta, that was
Giganta
it.
actually would kind of be cool. Well, you'd have to team. I don't know.
Well, what?
You
She's
think
gonna
it's
fight.
Ares?
She's
You think
gonna.
it's Ares
Yeah,
in this?
I think it's Ares, the god of war. She's gonna fight in this one. Ares is gonna be her Joker. That's the way I see it. Because she could go.
That's the way. That's the
That's
way it's
not
gonna
bad.
end.
That's not bad.
Because that's what it is. Because there's war every part of the fucking world. There's been what? Only 150 years of peace in all of civilization. People have figured out. So you're going to have Ares as her Joker. He's going to pop up in the Middle East. He's going to pop up in Korea. He's going to pop up here. She's going to chase after him.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I
if
think.
they do, if they look at and they read out, Leo's run, all the god stuff in that, they could say, listen, like that American Gods. They're like, look, these kind of like American Gods. They're gonna, a Hollywood exec will go for that.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, you know what? Even if you introduced in a lesser villain in the upcoming sequels, because she'd never had a real great rogues gallery until Perez did the whole myth setting with her. But you could always have a weaker villain in the front and have Ares pulling the strings in the back.
Right.
So sort of like Hydra, where Hydra's pulling the
Right.
strings for all these villains.
Mike, give me your rundown of your favorite Wonder Woman
Hmm.
films.
I don't really have it.
I like Giganta on the cartoon. I thought they used her great in Justice League Unlimited. I really liked that character, even though he was a baddie, but I liked her. Cheetah.
Cheetah I always liked. Because Cheetah
I
could
kind of
harm.
like what Byrne did with her.
Well, Perez too. Perez had it made so that she could harm
yeah,
her.
She was like little Cheetah, yeah.
Yeah,
She wasn't like somebody's mom in a cat suit.
Yeah.
I would tend to face Wonder Woman off against a villain that she's not associated with.
Harley,
I
like
tried
fight
to
Harley?
put Harley Quinn, but no, it's not what I was thinking.
I wouldn't bet on Harley in that one.
No, I wouldn't either.
So
I'm
you-
thinking more along the lines of Vandal Savage.
Ooh, that's a good
That
one.
would be bad. That's a good call, man.
Yeah, because Vandal is I never really pinned down to be one superhero's main villain. He fights everybody. Like the Joker fights everybody, but he's a Batman villain. Vandal Savage to me fought everybody, and he's everybody's villain.
Who's the guy from Justice League? Pierre Degaton? What was his name?
Yeah, the redheaded guy. Yeah, the one that-
Yeah, he
Degaton.
survived.
He's another Nazi, isn't he? Like a Nazi from World War II or something?
I don't think he was a
Yeah, something
Nazi.
like
I think he was a guy who wanted to take over the world.
Oh, I thought he was a Nazi who wanted.
I think he was using the Nazis. He was,
Yeah. I thought he wanted
I didn't
immortality.
find him anywhere near as interesting as Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, Caveman, who's still around.
Okay. All right. Look. Listen to this. I went to Google Wonder Woman villains, and these are her comic book villains. You have Ares, Giganta, Angleman, Cheetah,
Okay, I know what that is.
Cheetah, Dr. Psycho, Blue Snowman.
By the way, I've never seen Angleman in an actual comic. I've just seen Angleman in things that make fun of him.
Yeah, I never heard of him.
Vandal Spud.
Blue Snowman, Dr. Cyber, Duke of Deception, Dr. Poison, Medusa, Veronica Cale, Genocide, Queen Clea, Queen of Fables, Hypnota, Decay, Dark Angel, Silver Swan. I remember, yeah, that was from the Perez era. Circe. A lot of these are gods,
Yeah, so she gets them, but she doesn't get them. But the thing is, like, how many of those villains that you named have been seen since 1963?
Yeah, I mean, other than the Perez run, but you take away, like Dr. Psycho. Maybe during the...
he looks like I'm looking at his... I'm on Google too, I'm looking at it, and it looks like Evilus is Golden Age, Hypnota's Golden Age, Queen Clea's Golden Age, Medusa's anybody.
Dr. Psycho, I think,
Dr.
was from the
Psycho,
Roy
I don't
Thomas, Gene Colan era. Dr. Psycho, I think I kind of remember. Osira, Hades, Cybergirl, Baron Blitzkrieg, World War II, Captain Wonder. Don't know who that is. Aegis, Red Panzer, World War II, Lex Luthor, Paula,
Yeah, I was surprised Lex Luthor.
Paula von Gunther.
Why is Diana Prince listed under a villain?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Aegis looks like he's from the 70s, maybe late 60s. Captain Wonder looks like he's from the same era.
Captain Wonder was a villain created by combining Dr. Psycho and Steve Trevor. He battled the pre-crisis Wonder Woman and was a love interest to the original Silver Swan, according to
I'm going
Wikipedia.
to have to check my...
Oh, thank God, because I was hoping Silver Swan name.
I'm
But
going to
she-
have to check my encyclopedia of comic book heroes. I have it on.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman one. Yeah, I had that too. But like you had Egg Foo, like
Michael Schweitzer.
yes. But and remember, Egg Foo is like her most popular villain because it was such a racist, horrible racist caricature.
And it was
a giant egg.
Fighting an egg.
It was a giant egg. Yeah. You notice how it's not here in the villains list on this Google page.
When was the last time Egg Foo appeared in a book? I mean, I've seen him in books. I think they've used him in books, as jokingly.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. The last time I saw
But
him was
how many times was he? What was the last time he was in a book as an actual nemesis?
Ambush Bug was the last time, but you said as a joke. Hang on. Egg
Foo looked pretty good in that book.
Egg Foo Young. Wonder Woman. Let's see. Oh, Egg Foo. That was his name. Egg Foo. Egg
It
Foo.
was 1965. Wow. Was his first appearance. Wonder Woman 157.
Post-crisis history. Post-crisis. Shang Tzu. They probably made him. Following
Yeah,
the events
right.
of Infinite Crisis, a new version of Egg Foo appears, calling himself Shang Tzu. A reference to Chuang Tzu. Sorry for the mispronunciation, anyone.
Why?
Or possibly Sun Tzu. An
Agent
agent,
of Apocalypse.
an agent of apocalypse. Wow. See, because you had to get rid of that horrible, racist stereotype.
Where is I Ching when you need him?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I saw him recently in a book. Where did I see him?
Oh, Egg Foo had a robot twin called Dr. Yes. And you know, this is why Wonder Woman does not have great
thank God.
rogues gallery. You know?
Even like Giganta, I don't. She's like a D-list villain.
Wonder Woman always had mostly D-list villains. Her best storylines were in Justice League, where she fought Justice League villains, or like
Or when
You know-
she fought Ares.
when she fought Ares, or when she fought the Joker, or what is it, the Royal Flush Gang, or something like that. You know, those are Justice League villains. She's never
I
had.
always think like, why don't the editors-in-chief sit people down and say, all right, give me 10 new villains this week. With a bunch of, like 4 people in a room that want to break into comics. Give me 4 villains.
Yeah, that's true. Or you know, for this whole thing with making Egg Foo into a new villain called Dr. Zun, that's a brilliant idea. Why not take some of these old racist, old goofy villains and keep the name or change the name, but make them more amped up, you know? But Mike, I do like your idea of like, if they do sequels, fight other DC villains.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a great idea. I think that's you could bring in Lex Luthor into a Wonder Woman movie.
No, I don't know. I never want to see that Lex Luthor again, ever.
You're probably going to get it in a Justice League movie, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to help Darkseid and come to Earth. You know, I think that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, okay, your DC, Wonder Woman is big. That's the next female character in that movie. Well, you're already getting Batgirl, which is almost a no-brainer. That
Yeah, Batgirl movie. Yeah.
and Josh Whedon, that's almost a no-brainer. Would you go for a Black Canary?
I think
No.
hate to say it.
Santana?
You know,
No.
I remember we talked about this, Patrick. I think Zatanna would be a great TV show on the CW.
Yes.
She could be a magician,
Well,
traveling
they got
around the
new-
world, touring around the world, and
Yes.
everywhere she goes, she either meets dark forces or meets wacky, arcane, occult shit around the world. Like, you know, she could be in Prague one episode and deal with the wacky shit going on in Prague.
DC's streaming service. There you go.
That's exactly it. But for a big budget movie, I think Black Canary and Zatanna are not
No.
A-lister. And I hate to say it as a misogynist.
Hinted out that she's out there.
I don't want to sound misogynist, but let's face it, Black Canary, she had her own solo book back in the 40s and 50s, but let's face it, she only works well bouncing off of Green Arrow, bouncing off ideas, ideology, you know. I think that she only works well with a partner. You know?
I'm trying to think, like, who else do they have? They have Supergirl, Batgirl,
Supergirl's a TV
Black
show.
Canary,
Supergirl's a TV show, which is doing pretty well.
Santana. See, to me, that's their top 5. Wonder Girl. They can do Wonder Girl. I don't know why they would have that.
Well, you have Raven and Starfire now, are probably pretty big, thanks to the Titans. You know, Jesus, Raven, you could do a show for goth girls, and every week
You
she's
can bring Starfire in and make a member of the Justice League. You can go out of space stuff. You know, if you're going to do Darkseid's coming to town, you can use Corey.
You know, that's a good idea, you know, introduce her while Darkseid's coming to Earth in outer space, you know, while he's planet hopping. Or, well, no, he uses the boom tube, so. But to get her in there, that's a good idea. But you gotta give her a new costume. You can't have the Perez costume.
Oh, no. Zack Snyder would. Zack Snyder would keep that costume in a hot minute. He wouldn't let anybody get taken. I'm trying to think what else is big.
No, I think even DC executives would say
Batwoman, the shine is off that rose. She fell back down there.
Yeah. I think a Starfire bathing suit costume would not go over well with DC executives. They know there would be an uproar. They would even tell Zack Snyder, tone it down. Who else? Raven, Starfire?
I'd see that 3 times in the movies if she was wearing that costume.
Well, suppose they do a Legion of Superheroes movie. You think they're going to give them those 70s costumes that Dave Cockrum came up with? They were stripper costumes, for God's sake.
Dave Cockrum, I thought Mike Grell got all those crazy costumes.
Mike Grell came up with that very bizarre Cosmic Boy costume with the pink and the bustier. But
he almost looked like he was working an S&M club.
Exactly, but it was Dave Cockrum that came up with all this, like Phantom Girl costume with all those cutout circles. Dave Cockrum was probably the best. Dave Cockrum, in the history of the Silver Age, probably designed the best costumes more than any other artist. You know, probably.
Well, if he was designing a Legion of Superheroes, he could have designed 50 of them.
Exactly. You know, he designed Wolverine, he designed Storm, Nightcrawler. Those are classic costumes. Who else, women-wise, in the DC universe can you do a movie on?
Does Fox put X-23 back in the movie?
Who? Say that again?
20th Century Fox put, what's her name back? Laura from X-23 from the Logan movie back in the movie.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
You know, she was auditioning. I saw this on the web the other day. She was auditioning, and after they did a couple of scenes, you know, they did a couple of times with Hugh Jackman, she asked the director if she could improvise, and that's where the Spanish came from.
Oh, cool.
I'm like, wow, how old is she? 8? 9?
Yeah, 9? Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. Wait, so here we go. DC heroines, again, on Google. Black Canary, Power Girl, Elastigirl, Starfire, Huntress.
Power Girl. What about Power Girl? Power Girl get one?
What is that?
Power Girl?
Female Superman? Why not just do Supergirl then?
Well, because you already got Supergirl on the thing, and now you have another IP.
Ooh, you know who's... Ooh, looking at this list, you know who would be a good movie in a way? A spin-off from the Justice League movie. Big Barda.
I was thinking Big Barda, too.
That's a good idea. Hawk
So
Girl?
was I was actually going to say Big Barda.
Big Barda, that's a good one.
But Big Barda she's good, but she's also very Wonder Woman-like in a power set. You know what I mean?
Well, so
like
Power Girl is Superman powers in a way, you know?
Yeah, but I always feel like the Kryptonians are different. But
There's
did you
so
see
much
the animated movie?
There's so much you could do with Big Barda. That's almost like a clean slate.
Yeah, Big
I was
Barda...
wondering if they're going to bring Big Barda and set her up against Wonder Woman.
Or...
Justice League movie or whatever.
Or you have them team up. You have two, like
Well,
Xena.
first, I think she's got to come in as a bad girl. It's part of her thing.
You know, that bring her in as a bad girl, yes, and then she learns the error of her ways. But that would be a good movie. Like, she comes from a planet that's just nothing but war and misery and you know,
Yeah, it's called Apocalypse.
apocalypse. Yeah, you come from that type of planet where the whole society is nothing but war 24/7,
But it's almost like
and then she
Nora.
comes to Earth, and then she has to learn to like
Yeah.
be civilized, let's say, you know?
And at the end of the movie, she meets Scott Free.
Yes. Yeah.
It just drags him off to the dead. Did you ever see the animated movie Batman vs Superman? Batman Superman, where they introduced Supergirl and they go to the Apocalypse together, and Big Bart and one of them are fighting the Harpies.
No.
I think so.
Oh, that fight scene is unbelievable. It's one of the best animated fight scenes I've ever seen.
Well, see, that would be good to have Big Barter and Wonder Woman
Not the
team up.
Harpies, what are they called? The Sirens? Who are the that
Oh, the wait, on Fourth World?
Yes.
They're not the not the demon.
Lysina.
What are they? The demon? Not what are the flying demons called?
They're not. No, they're not.
I'm not a.
Parademons. They're not.
Yeah, they're not parademons.
No. What Big Barter was part of their group, and then she left.
Oh,
Lysina. Hound.
yeah, I know who you're
Something
talking about.
Barter.
I'm not a Kirby. I'm not a big Kirby fan, so I never really
Oh, okay.
read this stuff.
Big.
Big Barter would be good, and then have a movie do an action movie where you know we've gotten Melissa McCartney, Sandra Bullock, female cop team up movies. Now you could do a two Amazon women warrior movie team up, Big Barter and Wonder Woman, like the way Xena and what's her name, Gabrielle on Xena. You know, you could do that. Who else? Hawkgirl. Wow, Hawkgirl really sucked on Legends of Tomorrow. I doubt if you could do a Hawkgirl movie now.
Now Fury Battalion. That's what you meant.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you, you can see it on YouTube. You know, if anybody's listening, look it up on YouTube. It's a great fight. It's just, I was surprised how long we went with it. Very minimal dialogue, but there's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, send me the link.
Um,
Send me the link, fanboy.
yeah, Hawkgirl, you can't, it's hard to do Hawkgirl without Hawkman. But they could do it because the cartoon made it work.
Yeah, you can. You can do it. You know, you can do it from her point of view of always trying to find her mate, her soul mate, you know, and just things with the Thangarian science and all that.
Right.
Donna Troy.
Marvel. It's big. Marvel's got Captain Marvel coming out.
No, wait, I want to go back to DC because DC women are always lesser. No, we have Star Spangled Girl, Saturn Girl, Phantom Lady, Barbara Gordon, Raven, Phantom Girl, Mera, who they already released the photo.
Yeah, she's already in the movie.
Yeah, in the Aquaman movie. Salu Digby? Is that Ralph Digby's daughter? Silk Spectre 2, Arissa Robb from the Green Lanterns, Halo from Batman and the Outside, Dawn Star from the Legion of Superheroes, Hawk and Dove.
You're not going to do any Legion of Superheroes.
Wait, back up.
Any of that at all.
Back up. Katana.
Yeah.
Katana's in Suicide Squad.
Katana's in Suicide Squad, and she sucked.
Yeah.
So whoever Zack Snyder cast had zero charisma and less acting ability, and she sucked in that.
And I think DC has said they don't want the TV show and the movies to. They want them to keep them separate.
But it's too late for that because they're going to have 2 Flashes, 2 Katanas. What else?
And Katana was just awful in that Suicide Squad movie. Just Dawn Star, Hawk and Dove. Hey, 2 female.
Hawk and Dove might not be bad.
Might not be bad. 2 female superheroes as a team, and there's sisters. That's you know, one's angry, one's peace, one's for calm. The other one's angry. That's not a bad. That has a lot of potential. Catwoman.
Catwoman. We already been down.
Yeah, Zatanna would be good as a TV show, not a movie. Because then you're just turning her into Doctor Strange if you make a movie about her. You know,
right.
Vixen.
But like I said,
Yeah.
Vixen. They might. She's on the. Is she on Legends Tomorrow?
Yeah, it should guest starring once in a while, but they already had the cartoon.
They might. maybe they'll put them in the Justice League if they need more females, more
Yeah.
faces. You know, that's a weak.
Cassandra Cain, Bulleteer, Shadowlass, Panther.
Bulleteer, that Grant Morrison miniseries was amazing.
Yeah, that was damn good.
Cassandra Cain, you have to introduce him to Batman.
Batgirl, you know, she was a cool Batgirl, but they're going with the Barbara Gordon one. Celsius,
Never heard of it.
yeah. Crimson Fox,
That's the one from Justice League Europe? No.
yeah. Crimson Fox, Justice League Europe, yeah. Jesse Chambers, another Flash, female Flash. Arrowhead.
Fire and Ice.
What was that, Mike?
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice, yeah. Thunder, Cyclone, Spy Smasher, Argent.
None of these.
Yeah, these are all Stephanie Brown, Night Girl. Like, they're cool
nobody
names.
That's going to spend much money.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just...
I see the same thing with Marvel. Once you get past Captain Marvel, what do you do, female-wise?
She-Hulk, because, the Incredible Hulk is the mindless, destruction, and she could still have her lawyer mind, calm, cool, and collected, and you could do her like, she fucks everybody, she sleeps around with everyone, she's very independent,
I think they already made...
It sounds like the makings of a crime procedure.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Well,
that's what they're doing now in the book. Last time I looked in a new book, she was like issue 3, she hadn't transformed yet.
Yeah, the gray one. But I mean, Dan Slott kind of made her like a police procedural, because it was more about the law and her sleeping around with everyone, which would be a good.
I think Wicked. I think Wicked, or what's the other? I think it was nothing.
Black Widows, Ms. Captain Marvel, She-Hulk. Who else?
Mike, you're chewing into the microphone.
No, that's... Yeah. That's fine. Whatever. Who else is big? Wasp? You could do a spin-off from Wasp, from the Ant-Man movie?
I think you keep those two together.
See, that's what I'm saying.
That's the next Ant-Man movie.
If the next Ant-Man movie is more successful than the first one, you could spin off the Wasp, I think.
Nah, I think you got to keep those two together.
And see, that's the same thing with Black Canary. I think Black Canary needs a partner to bounce off of.
But I don't think Michael Douglas is going to be in the next one.
Really? You would
And
think
that's
so.
a mistake.
Who else? Who else can you do with Marvel?
You don't have the mutants. You can't use the mutants. Maybe the Inhuman is Marvel.
Oh God, I hate the. I'm sorry. I found the Inhumans always boring.
Yeah, I think she's dumb.
Like really, like Medusa, like hair. Okay.
You know that movie's coming out fairly soon.
About 3 more years, I think, if not more. 2020, I think. Let's see.
I don't know if it's coming out that late. So I think they just stopped. They just finished filming. They were filming in Honolulu.
What movie?
The Inhumans.
No, I think that's the TV show. Yeah, he's gonna be in Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah, they're gonna be a TV show.
Michael Douglas credits.
There's an Inhuman TV show, but I thought they were still doing an Inhumans movie, or did they scrap that?
I think they scrapped that.
Oh.
Last I heard, it was still being a movie.
I don't know though. Why are they doing the TV show?
Mike, did you see the promo shot of the Inhumans in the TV show?
That sucked.
No, I only saw a photo still.
Yeah, that's it. That looked
that's
awful. That looked awful.
Yeah, I saw that.
That looked that Medusa was the most boring looking costume.
Oh, the wig is terrible.
And
the
wig
dye is terrible.
Yeah.
Hopefully, by the time the series airs, they'll have like good makeup.
Yeah, hopefully the feedback.
Where is that going to be shown? Is that ABC?
ABC, right after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., supposedly.
I don't know anybody in the show. Ken Lung, do I know him?
Yeah, he's a pretty good actor. He's been around for a long time. And the chick who plays Medusa, she was at Tana on Superboy.
Okay.
You know, and she's gorgeous, and they made her look like an old hag in this one. You know, with that wig. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it
just,
looked terrible. I thought Crystal looked okay.
Yeah.
I thought Black Bolt was fine.
No
He
mask.
didn't get a look together.
no mask.
I
Karnak.
don't mind the mask. I don't mind the mask. Especially if you're going to have a guy, a character in the show, that can't speak, you're going to need his facial expressions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's I could see that. That makes perfect sense.
Okay. Are you going to go opening weekend for Wonder Woman?
Probably not.
Does your wife want to go see it?
I don't know. You want to go see Wonder Woman?
You are a horrible, horrible husband.
How am I a horrible husband?
You don't even know what your wife wants in life.
She's still hooked on Suicide Squad.
Right. Mike, you might have to divorce her.
I love that movie.
I doubt
What
that.
the hell is wrong with you?
You people. It was
It was
to each their own.
awful.
Well, wait a minute, though. Even though I'm not part of it, you have my curiosity.
Yeah, you
What?
can jump right in.
From your perspective as comic professionals,
More or
and
less.
like me, what was wrong with the movie?
One, the plot was kind of all over the place. The acting wasn't that great. The soundtrack was just like they beat you over the head with it, especially in that first 15 minutes. It sounded like there wasn't a spot where there wasn't a pop song. The villain, Funk, they didn't explain a lot of things. Rick Flag just kind of said, "Oh, I'm going to get my girlfriend, so you guys have the high road." No, sorry.
All right, I can appreciate that.
And I think Will Smith was the best actor in there,
Yeah.
and he was just doing Will Smith, which I like. You know, I'm not knocking that. But I mean, Harley was okay. I felt they didn't really write her. I thought the Joker was absolutely horrible. I thought Slipknot was my favorite. I liked.
Oh, in the first 5 minutes.
I know. Yeah.
I liked them.
Which made no
I
sense.
thought El Diablo was okay. I didn't think they wrote up. He didn't really get a story arc that he deserved. Like there wasn't as much conflict. You didn't really see him, you know, going over what he had to do. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, and then all of a sudden he's a 15-foot Aztec god. Nobody says, how the hell am I not supposed to that?
Well, I did, like I say, I'm sorry to take you guys off track, but I do appreciate the education because I don't know.
Besides Suicide Squad, what is your other favorite comic book movie?
Donna.
I'm sorry, say that again?
And putting Suicide Squad aside, what is your next favorite comic book movie?
Or
Remember, when Thor came out, everybody was calling it chicken flick.
thank
And I think
you,
it
Gary.
was.
Yes.
I liked it. A lot of fun.
I can see Donna liking Thor. Yeah.
Donna, when you were a little girl, did you read Wonder Woman?
She liked Doctor Strange, too.
Oh yeah, I did like Dr. Strange a lot.
Donna, when
Because
you
he's
were a little
British
girl,
and a doctor.
When I was a little girl,
did you read Wonder Woman?
I never did. In fact, I've asked Michael to please get me started on comics. I know I'm a horrible wife, but I've asked
No,
him
he's a horrible husband. I can hear it.
Yeah.
I've asked him to get me started on something that I will try to understand because I understand the attraction. I'm just trying to wrap my head around getting involved in it. And, I've been married to Michael for 17 years, but
Oh, you woman.
So, but I have to say I probably like Doctor Strange more than Thor, and no, I didn't like Thor because he was good looking.
No, I'm not asking. Did you know any girls, when you were growing up, that read Wonder Woman?
No.
Got cousins, sisters, anything?
No, not really. I really didn't have a grasp of comics So,
Do you read Archie's?
seldom. I know, I'm like a virgin all over again. But
Wow, you didn't read Betty and Veronica or Archie? Wow,
I
that's,
never, not really, no.
wow.
Do you read any
Okay.
of the Harvey books? Richie Rich?
Once in a while, but not enough to really grasp the significance of comic books.
Yeah, well, there's no significance to Richie Rich. It's just, it's a kid book. You read it and you go away. What, they have 3 stories in each book? Boom, you're done.
There is one comic book that I would like to read, and we haven't been able to afford one that a grade that we can afford, and that's Fantastic Four #8.
Number.
Fantastic Four #8. What's going on in 8?
That's the Puppet Master.
First puppet.
Oh.
Master.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Marvel's putting out epic collections for like $20. You can get it.
Well,
It's not the same.
yeah, I mean,
No, but I mean,
there is something about that book that captures my attention.
you want to control Mike?
That's what it is. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they have
I
a ton
try
of
to
those
educate
epic collections.
I try to educate myself as best I can, and Mike helps a lot. So.
No, but I mean, we're just looking at Wonder Woman fan base. Are women excited about this movie coming out?
I
Really?
think so. I think they are. Yes, I do. I think they are. There's women
And
at
you
work
think?
talk about it.
Okay.
And, yeah. It looks like it will be an empowering movie.
Will they go see it or wait for the DVD?
No, they'll go see it.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll go see it.
So there you go. We're finally getting a woman's perspective on this.
All right, Donna, you're our spy. You're our in-a-field reporter. I want
Yes.
you to poll every woman you know. If you're waiting on line at the supermarket, poll everybody.
I absolutely promise I'll report back next Friday.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
He thinks I'm kidding.
No, I know you will. But wait a minute, Mike works the weekend, so you guys won't be able to see it till during the week.
Yeah. Well, we can go on Tuesday.
Yeah. So we would have to
Yeah, we're
wait.
going to go see it in the Alamo?
Yeah, I should get tickets for it now that you mention it. But yeah, we should
Yes,
all.
yeah.
We won't talk about it until we all see it. So if it's after the 5th, the 8th, the 9th, then we'll talk about it.
Oh, by the way,
Well,
I think the Guardians too.
What'd you think?
I loved it.
Yeah,
Donna, did you see it?
I liked it a lot.
No, I didn't see it. I was working.
You know what a lot of people are saying? Oh, I heard it's not as good as the first one. I thought it was as good as the first one.
Wow, I haven't seen that at all. I've only seen one negative review of it, but everybody else loves it.
People I know.
Wow, I thought it was a lot better story wise. I thought there was a lot more emotional content dealing with fathers and family and trust and loyalty. I thought there was a lot more in that movie than the first one. That's why I liked it.
Donna, did you see Logan?
No, I couldn't hang with that.
Really?
Oh,
Not
my
even.
God.
Bartlett.
Yeah, I can't hang with the blood, and in that respect,
Not
You're gonna
even.
have to tell. You're gonna have to tell them about the Iron Man.
Not even to see a shirtless Hugh Jackman, Donna.
Okay, well, to give you, so Michael and I went to see Iron Man,
The first one.
the first one,
Okay.
and you remember the scene where the doctor has to,
That wasn't the doctor. That was Echo.
well, whatever, he reaches
Yes.
in and has to,
Yes.
Chris
I love
Suzanne.
that
has
scene.
to take, well, right when she reached into his chest, I said to Mike,
I gotta go.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Wow.
I thought that scene was a great scene. So
Yes.
much character building. It really took, really showed you another side of their relationship and how much, you couldn't be Tony Stark without them.
Exactly.
But on the plus side, when we do comic shows, I do very well with selling our product. So
That's good.
I get a little credit.
Yes, you did. Well, of
That's
course.
another thing you're gonna have to keep track of, Mike. The Wonder Woman back issue one.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll be watching for that.
Yeah.
Like I told you that I was looking at one of the trades on Amazon, and It was like 9-1. It was guys reviewing it.
Yeah, I know. I think
that may change.
I would like to see a change. We'll see. I mean, we won't know for about a year from now. I hate to say it on book sales. Maybe 6 months from now.
What,
we'll see.
Sales or trade sales?
Trade sales.
I just put Wonder Woman in Amazon, the all thing. I'm just looking at all the stuff that's coming out. Legos,
yes,
keychains,
yes,
backpacks, cuff earrings.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they she's gonna do okay.
I get the DC newsletter every once in a while, and this past week was talking about all the merchandising they're doing, and just nonstop promotion. But you know what? I think it's almost 2 hours, and I know.
Well, before we go,
Mike has a deadline.
If there's one trade you would recommend to like all the girls that are like, oh, I saw Wonder Woman, I loved it. I want to get into Wonder Woman. What would you say?
What?
Ask that question one more time.
Let's say the movie. All these women that went to the movie and loved it, and they come to you as a comic guru and say, I really love the Wonder Woman movie. Recommend something I can buy. What trade? Like what run? Say.
On Wonder Woman or anything?
Wonder Woman.
That's really tough.
I would say the Azzarello Wonder Woman. But there's a $30, 75th anniversary, $30 trade thing. It's four different hardcovers. It's only $30. I would do that. So it's Perez, it's Rucka. Who else was there? There's like 4 different writers runs. So I think that's pretty cool.
I saw that this week DC put out the George Perez omnibus of Wonder Woman Volume 2. And there's also a Superman Wonder Woman trade paperback out called The Savage Land. Maybe that's from the recent Superman. But you know what? I would give women the Byrne stuff, because Byrne writes good comic book stories, and he kind of amped up her power level in a way, and I think it's easily accessible. The artwork is standard,
clean and good.
I'm not crazy about it, but other people may like it. So I think given like the first Byrne trade paperback, where he makes her out to be like one of the top strength-wise heroes in the DC universe, I think is a good starting point as well. I think if you give people the Perez run with all the mythology, Greek mythology, and Ares, I think that may turn off some people who aren't into that, who never really got into mythology and such. By giving them a standard Byrne superhero versus supervillain book is a good starting point.
What about you, Mike?
I don't know. I gotta give that one some thought.
Right, 2 hours.
Yeah, just about 2 hours, and Mike's got a deadline. But also, I'm looking up Marvel heroines, non-X-Men, that could be a movie. Scarlet Witch, She-Hulk, Silver Sable, Captain Marvel, Black Widow, Cersei, Elektra, Crystal, Felicia Hardy, Dazzler, Aurora, Medusa.
Oh God, I hope they think that.
Medusa, Squirrel Girl, Shanna, the She-Devil.
I wonder if they have the rights to Dazzler.
Oh, that's right. She's a mutant. Yeah. Man, not a lot of Marvel women you could do because of the mutants. Most of the powerful women in Marvel were mutants, and as long as Fox holds on to that, you can't do a Rogue movie, you can't do a Storm movie. So that limits them in a way. And Elektra was terrible. You figure a female ninja would be Money in the Bank. They fucked it up.
Yeah, they did.
What about Shannon the She-Devil?
Too obscure.
Too obscure, too much like Tarzan.
I want to see them.
You know, too much like what was the one in the '80s that bombed with Tanya
it was,
Roberts.
Yeah.
That was another show. Wasn't that Shadow? I think, or whatever. But nah, I would rather see a Black Widow.
Oh, what's the name? One of the Playmates did a show of that in the 90s.
Oh, that's right.
Syndicate.
Yeah, it was on
Syndicate.
Channel 9 with one of the Baywatch babes.
Yes.
That ran for a couple of years. Oh, geez, remember that other show syndicated, the female Indiana Jones with Tia Carrere in the lead?
Yeah, it's a Tomb Raider with Bella Clinton.
Yeah.
That ran like a couple of years. You know, I wonder if a lot of those syndicated shows would be more successful because of Hulu and Netflix and CW.
Mm.
You know? You know what I think would be a good movie? A Silver Sable movie. You can make her a mercenary, and she's in charge of a group of mercenaries, doles out assignments, goes on a couple of assignments herself. You could do an international jet setter. You know?
See that?
You know, sort of like, The Saint or whatever, or Man from U.N.C.L.E. going around the world.
I could see that
What
happening.
about Black Widow and Silver Sable in the same movie?
You know?
Turn it on.
I would like that. Again, I think you could have two empowered women, strong, independent, rich.
Why do they have to be empowered? Why can't they just be good characters?
Well, because of the society today demands empowered women. You can't have women.
What does that mean? Like, who?
You can't have damsels in distress anymore. We talked about this. Every friggin' movie you go to now with an action hero, the girl in the movie is now a black belt in kung fu, Jinkata, Krav Maga. They all kick ass themselves. You know, but so you can't have a guy rescuing a woman anymore. So you're gonna have to have these two women in charge of their own agency. Like Silver Sable could be in charge of her own agency. She runs the operation, and she's empowered. She kicks ass. She doesn't have a boyfriend. She doesn't have a husband. She chooses to sleep with whoever she wants.
Is she a gym teacher?
No, she's a
Gym
mercenary.
teacher, never married.
That's for the fan fiction. But so you could do a movie like that, sort of like what VIP was with Pamela Anderson, those syndicated things where she was like in charge of a group of spies. You know,
Yeah.
even though they were all models.
Oh, why I get another movie?
No.
Nah, too much bad ink. But you know what? Let's leave it on that. Hopefully,
All right.
Wonder Woman gets a lot of good ink. Mike has a deadline in an hour, so we'll leave him be.
All right, Mike, good talking to you. Don, nice meeting you.
All right.
Yeah, Donna, I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll talk to you guys. I know, Mike, you got your thing to do, but I'll talk to you guys over the weekend. How's that?
All right,
Sounds good.
sounds good.
All right, I'll talk to you then. Have a good night.
All right, take care.
Good night, dude.
This has been an Elder Nerd production. I'll see ya. Have a good night. Peace.
You too.